Hello and welcome back to TNI-UK Impacted episode 217, coming to you live via the Total Non-Stop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. And if you listen on the go, then we're also available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your favourite shows. Excuse me. I am your host, Bison, and today I am joined by the man coming to us from the mind. Well, the void of his own mind, of course, the Joker. Hello, mate. You all right?
I'm there. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Well, apart from the
Slight hiccup.
slight hiccup there with the computer, which just basically decided as I was about to send over the running order of today's show to the lads. I'm going to shut down and do a complete restart and update your computer, mate.
And then restart
However,
again. And then restart again. And then
about 6 or 7 times. But what I will say is it's running like an absolute dream now, smooth as anything. So we shouldn't have any problems from now on. So that's the main thing. But anyway, how's your week been, Joe?
It's been all right. Pretty damn cold, but apart from that, it's been good.
Good. Glad to hear it. So there's loads of stuff. There's loads and loads of stuff. Well, say not loads of stuff to talk about, but we've got a few things to talk about. Plus, we've got obviously a little recap of last week's Impact, and of course, we're going to look forward to Thursday. We've got some good stuff to come, I think. But yeah, so Joe Hendry's food fight is back again. It seems to be a bit sporadic. It sort of kind of comes and goes. I think in a minute he's coming out probably every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But I think he's a bit busy at the moment, being the world champ. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, he's been doing a lot of interviews everywhere too, and he's recently been on the Jericho cruise, so he's been pretty busy these past couple of weeks.
Well, hopefully he's done a review of the food on the Jericho cruise. How about that?
Oh yeah, see if there's a little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah, a bit of the bubbly. You never know. But all good. There's not a massive amount of news this week either, really. One thing is for sure, though, is the tickets for the upcoming live events appear to be selling very, very well, including obviously Full Sail with the live Impact on the 20th of Feb and the tapings on the 21st of February. Both look to be selling pretty well. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what TNA is going to look like at the Full Sail Arena. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not quite familiar with the arena they go into, but given how amazing the last live episode was, that was just exactly how you want to show off that your product is in the new era. And if we get another banger like that or anything close to that, this new place, and I hope that a live show becomes a regular thing, even if it's just one every month. Like we've said in the past, it keeps keeps things fresh. And it keeps things a bit unpredictable too.
Yeah, I think it's key. I think we talked about, obviously it's very, very expensive to go live. And you can understand why it's kind of, not necessarily currently an option to go live every single week. Excuse me. Plus, it also means that you need to make sure your talent's available every single week as well.
Guys like Ace are booked in like 3 different places at once. And Leon Slater is all over the place as well. He's really busy.
He's busy. He's busy in the UK. He's busy over in the States. I mean, he's busy they're all busy all over the place. So I think that, unless they are planning to, like you say, up the game on the contracts to make sure these people are not losing out on any money, and to be fair, I think, you never know. I mean, moving on down the line, if they get a decent TV deal, then who knows? I mean, it might be a case of, well, yeah, we're happy to go, we're happy to sign, but we want a live show every week. We don't want it taped. We want live shows. And if maybe that's why they're trying to do live impacts. In a sense of, it's almost like trying it out, make sure that they can do it and they can do it well, and put out a good product. And I think they can, because actually, I preferred the live show than I did to the tapings afterwards. I don't read spoilers, so it's not like I know what's going to happen. I just feel that the actual live show was really good. What do you think?
Yeah, I've just enjoyed the whole revamp basically. That it came into 2024 with a new light, and it's just come into 2025 in an even bigger light. It's like I'm gonna go bloody blind if things get any brighter.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I get what I'm just going to go back to what Norris is saying. I get what you're saying there as well, but
Yeah,
you're also assuming that the WWE want to re-sign people that they've released in the past, and WWE might not actually be an option for every single talent that's been released from AEW or talents that have been released from I mean you've got all the talents being released in WWE at the moment. Um, and to be fair, what would be? I mean, what would be a better way to stick it to Tony Khan, but to go to TNA and make TNA a better show than
exactly.
That's the way I look at it. I
And
think that'd be
honestly,
even more of a kick in the ass
I
if
wouldn't be surprised if that's what Triple H and Shawn Michaels are also basically saying to the talent: go to TNA for like a year or two, show us what you can do there, and then we'll bring you on to NXT and we'll bring you on to Raw and SmackDown, etc., etc.
Well, it could be a case of it. I mean, I think it could be a case of not being funny, but TNA for me is a slightly better product than NXT.
Yeah,
However, like you say, they're at least on a par. So at the end of the day, what you could do is, if they were gonna bring people in, why not bring them straight from TNA into SmackDown and Raw if they're going to do that, or bring them, you know what I mean, like they would with the NXT talent if they're going to bump them up. Well, then bring them straight in from NXT. They've had experience on TNA. I think it could be, it's going to be beneficial to everybody, definitely. Unfortunately, Bonkers, Limpster has got things to do. I think that was what he said. He's got a lot of other things to do tonight.
you can't make it tonight, basically. To just
so he can't make it. JDC went one-on-one with former Brian Pillman Jr. and of course now Lexi King for the NXT Heritage Cup on NXT last night.
Oh, was that who he was? Because I was wondering who I was
Yes.
wondering who Brian Myers was talking about.
Yes.
And he said Brian Pillman Jr. still sucks
Yeah.
on X. So I was thinking to
exactly.
myself, but he's not in WWE, is he? Christ.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, last night after a very good match and almost winning the Heritage Cup, JDC of TNA's faction in the system obviously just missed out. Unfortunately, just missed out. There was a couple of near falls. It was a really good match. I watched the highlights of it. It looked like a real good match, and the crowd were well into it. But it's a good introduction, of the system because he did come out to his system music. He was, kissing his ring and all the rest of it. So it was. I think that was like a basic introduction to the system. We could see a little bit more moving forward. I mean, I guess if he didn't lose, then there'd be no reason to bring the system with him next week, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, that's that. Ricky Starks obviously also showed up on NXT last night to a rapturous applause. And of course, I like the "you didn't see that coming" comments. So, but yeah, I mean, Ricky Starks is a star. I'd love to have seen him turn up on Impact, but then again, he now could. So I don't know. Let's wait and see. Maybe Ricky Starks to turn up on.
He could be
TNA at some point.
could have just gone to NXT to troll the fans and come over to TNA and say, "Yeah, no, I'm actually coming in, guys."
I mean, they've not announced that they've actually signed him. There was there's no official announcement he's signed. He's just sort of kind of turned up.
Yeah.
But it could be. It could be he's actually signed with TNA. That could be the swivel. But the first thing he did was turn up on NXT. But I don't know. Either way, so he's a hell of a talent, which was cool. I'd like to see that as well, Paul. I'd like to see a joint faction with wrestlers from TNA and NXT.
Yeah.
What's
I think
interesting?
Mustafa Ali could be doing something.
Well, there is the Mustafa Ali
or
stuff.
John Layfield as well.
But I said that ages ago, didn't I? That it'd be maybe what John Layfield is doing is building some kind of stable with this going to have I don't know, former TNA world champs in it or something, and former NXT champs, and that sort of thing. But yeah, no, interesting stuff. We all know that JDC was Fandango.
Oh yeah, bloody Fandango! His first match at WrestleMania against Chris Jericho. That was a fucking joke.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. No,
Chris Jericho off. So that's basically what made him want to leave WWE. Was he was just so angry after that. He was just Oh God.
Yeah, but
Me
then
off
he
too.
wasn't he wasn't the booker. That's the problem. Whoever
Yeah.
booked that match was an
Oh,
idiot.
Vincent Mann booked it. Vincent
Yeah.
Mann wasn't. He said to him, "You'll be in the main event. You'll be in the main event." No, then he says you're not on the card at all. Fandango comes in. Vincent Mann says, "You're having a match with Fandango."
Nice. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with him. He's a good wrestler.
He's a bloody brilliant
Um,
wrestler, but
but that particular character was a bit of a joke character, wasn't it, at the end of the day? But I think what he's
yeah,
doing now is a way more serious and probably what yeah, and he's very good. He's a very,
he's
very
brilliant.
talented wrestler. I mean, that
Yeah,
match against Josh Alexander was incredible. But
and
there
the
we go.
death match with Santana as well. That was a good
Yes.
one. You know, she showed he can do anything.
Oh, there you go. Look, if Wikipedia said it's true, it must be. But anyway, Ricky Starks has officially signed with WWE. It says so on Wikipedia. Okay, fair enough. If that's the case, then great.
It's more reliable than Facebook, guys. So remember, if it's on Facebook, it must be true. But never mind about it being on Wikipedia.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no meme about Wikipedia. So if there's no meme about Wikipedia, then there's always a meme about Facebook being on there, and if it's on there, it's true.
Yeah, exactly. No quarter catch crew. Do you know what? I don't know. I didn't really get that faction. Yeah, anyway. Joe Hendry and reigning Knockouts World Champion Masha Slamovich will be in New York City on Monday and Tuesday, February 24th, 25th. They're going to be promoting it, the New York Islanders home game as UBS Arena against their arch rivals, of course, the New York Rangers. Joe and Masha also will be visiting SiriusXM studios for a live in-studio interview on Busted Open and other popular radio shows. Casey Navarro will also be joining them for the New York Rangers game, home game at the UBS on the 25th. So, I mean, this is interesting because we've seen talents turning up at the big arenas that we're gonna have some pay-per-views at. Obviously, this is the venue for Slammiversary. And it's good to see them doing the promotion because that's what you need. We need promotion to get those local wrestling fans there. I don't know whether wrestling is a big thing within the National Hockey League. I'm not sure, but who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But it is good to see them doing what they need to do to make sure they're getting bums in seats, right?
Yeah.
Important stuff. It's good to see Casey Navarro getting involved in all of this as well.
Yeah, I know. Wow, that's a huge extra bump for him. It's fantastic.
I'm not 100% sure, but do I assume that Casey's a New Yorker then?
I'm not sure. I would have thought they would have put Mike Santana over if they wanted someone from New York.
Well, it was recent, wasn't it? Recent, only a couple of weeks ago. I think it was last month. I think January, Mike Santana and the Hardy Boys were over there. Maybe Nick Nemeth as well.
Yeah, Nick Nemeth from the Hardys and Santana were in January, so fresh faces. But so
maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah, Casey Navarro is also going to appeal to a lot of people who don't really know the roster as well, because he's known from different promotions and everything else. You know, we've been calling him to get into TNA for like 3 years.
Yeah, we have. You're right. If we just got to keep going, because it seems like the more we call on these talents, sometimes they do eventually turn up. Okay, let's have a little Impact recap. So the show opens up with TNA World Champion Joe Hendry with one of his signature live concerts after a few hit songs. Hendry predicts that someone will interrupt him. Cue Jake something.
Yes. Wow. I did not see that coming. I
didn't either.
I thought it would be either Frankie Kazarian or John Layfield will actually finally come down to the ring.
Yeah, definitely. There you go.
Even if just come down and stare at him and then walk back out, that would have been from Layfield. But Jake something, wow,
that would have been cool. But anyway, he reveals that he'd spoken to Director of Authority Santino Marella. That's disgusting, and is talking Hendry up on his offer to defend the TNA World Title against anyone, anywhere, anytime. Hendry accepts. The two will clash for the TNA World Title next week. I like the way I accept. I like that. I thought that was cool. And it's being mentioned in the chat there that Indy Hartwell was on Busted Open Radio and challenged Masha Slamovich for a Knockouts title. How about that?
Someone else going for a title now. It's like at least 3 people now going in for the Knockouts title.
Yeah, Indy
But from
Hartwell too. She's badass.
yeah,
That would be a great pickup if we could pick that one up. Not just a one-off. It'd be great to pick her up
yeah,
as a knockout. It'd be fantastic. Now, after playing a role in Wesley's victory last week, NXT's Tyson Dupont battled Ace Austin. Austin puts Dupont away with the fold to get the win after a pretty solid match. However, after the match, Austin is jumped by Lee and I don't know what his name is, the other guy, until the Rascals chase them off with steel chairs. Okay, so what we got there was, again, more storytelling. We had a really good match.
yeah,
Obviously, Wesley was trying to get involved in the match and all that kind of stuff. There was some good stuff there. Ace obviously eventually gets the win over Dupont. And I have to say, for a big dude, he moves really well.
he's
Dupont.
incredible. He was so good. Oh my god! Ace Austin's being able to lift him up the way he did in some parts.
Yeah, and that big splash he did, that big splash Tyson did was ginormous. And that bloody massive dude landed on you, Jesus Christ! But yeah, there you go. So I think it was a pretty solid match. I really liked it. And of course, it's forward in the storyline with regards to Ace now sort of kind of aligning with the Rascals, I guess, or the Rascals
he was
aligning with Ace.
putting out there that he never thought he would be signing with these two. And I said to him, just don't mention Trey's mum.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't mention your mum.
Hashtag it's been a bangarama.
Yeah,
don't mention Trey's mum.
Yeah, that's funny.
Excuse me.
Tessa Blanchard reveals that she will not be in tonight's Knockout Spot Royale because she believes that it would be 9 against 1. Fair comment. But I got to say, I think Tessa is absolutely killing it right now. Her promo stuff is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's off the charts. I totally believe that she's one seriously angry, badass bitch. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. She was, her promo work was good before this as well. When she was in TNA last time, but now it's just up again because she's got that extra chip on her shoulder. Well, an even bigger chip on her shoulder, but now she's also using that to her advantage. Really, 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 almost sticking it to all the people that are really pissed off about her coming back now.
Oh man, totally sticking it to everybody. But I also believe that she's playing on that whole everybody in the locker room hates her thing.
Yeah, I do.
I think that's clever. I think that's really, really clever. Because someone's gonna come and help her at some point and prove that not everybody hates her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Might be a new face.
Could be. She could be bringing a couple of people in with her.
Yeah.
Maybe, like you say, or maybe, Steph DeLander, for instance. I mean, let's talk about the self-proclaimed digital media champion, Steph DeLander, and of course her boyfriend, Mance Warner, who then was sending warning messages to Sami Callihan as well via their promo video, which I thought was really good. I love the way that they did that. What did you think of the promo? I thought it was good.
The promo was fantastic, and it's just so good to see Steph DeLander back. She should be cleared to wrestle again in about 3 months' time. As she said, at least 3 months' time, which is fantastic news. And I can't wait to see what happens when she gets back. I can't wait to see what happens between Sami and Mance Warner. These two are going to rip each other to pieces, and I'm just itching for them to have their first match against each other now.
Well, I'm assuming that's going to be at the special. What's the special? Which is the next one coming?
I'm not sure what they haven't announced it yet. What the next one is?
What the next special?
Yeah,
I thought they had. I can't remember. Somebody will tell us. But you're right. Yeah, Punk. Just saying, Tessa is absolutely killing it. I think she is. I'm going to just say a quick hello to Terence. I just noticed you pop in there. I think she's absolutely killing it right now as well, and I like the way they're using the real life kind of.
Yeah, they're using all the bat heat and then.
Yeah, I love the fact that they're proper milking the heat, and no, I think it's good. It's really good. Now, NXT's Cora Jade joins Tom Hannafan and Matthew Raybould on commentary for the Knockouts Battle Royale, with the winner earning obviously a place on the Knockouts world title shot for the top. Let me get it out. Earning a Knockouts World Title shot next week. Jade mentions that she isn't willing to compete against the other Knockouts for a title opportunity. And interestingly enough, Jazz made a return to take part in the Knockouts Battle Royale. There was mention of her current working for NWA, which I thought was good as well. So obviously we've still got a relatively good relationship with NWA, so that's good to see. And of course, Jazz looked fantastic. I thought the last time Jazz was on, she looked like she was having issues with her legs. But I didn't really see that this time. What do you think?
I was so pleased to see her back, and she's just looking incredible. And the day afterwards, she said that you're in NWA territory, so I'm going to come down and let you guys know that I'm still someone to be reckoned with, basically. So she was putting over NWA and TNA on all of her posts and that online too, which is really good to see. But she looks incredible. It's fantastic to see her. We were talking to ODB at the start of the year. Jordan Grace has gone to WWE, and now Jazz comes back to TNA for the night. And all I can think of is that soundbite with all three of them together. Bam!
Bam! Yeah, no, that was cool. That was cool. There you go. It's Sacrifice. That's the one I was thinking of. So we've got Sacrifice in March. And then obviously we haven't got Rebellion until April. So that'll be that's the schedule. That's the special schedule. I would imagine that is where you will get to see Mance and Sammy go at it. Although it could be before then. Maybe it might happen at the live the live Impact at Full Sail. Maybe it'll happen then to be a big match. But so good to see Jazz back, and she was proper on it, and you could see there was a lot of respect for her as well as she came down the ramp. Savannah Evans eventually obviously ends up one-on-one with Xia Brookside, and after some interference from Cora Jade with regards to Xia, Savannah Evans picks up the win and faces Masha this Thursday on Impact. So tomorrow night on Impact. What do you think of this? Obviously, they're trying to give Cora something to do because they don't want to feed her to Masha too early. I don't know. What do you think?
For me, it's been a long overdue since Savannah Evans to get a knockout title shot. So I'm glad to see that she's getting it. If Xia Brookside would have just got destroyed pretty quickly against Masha, and this is also building now between the heat between Xia Brookside and Cora Jade as well. But they trained together. They had a really heated exchange last week, as we had on commentary as well as saw.
Well, what's interesting about what they trained together, though, I think also Ash is in on this as well. Dana Brooks or whatever she was called, and they were all at NXT. I think all three of them sort of kind of trained together, and I think they still do. So it's going to be interesting. At least they're going to know each other pretty well. So I think we're going to get a good match here.
We're going to get some great matches from these two.
I think so, definitely. And I happen to agree with that, Melonhead. I thought that the Battle Royal was terrible. When you consider that you just had your 30-man Royal Rumbles going on, and then they throw together a 10-person one, it was quite weak. I felt the spots weren't particularly good, apart from the ending.
And Danny Luna pulling everyone up from underneath the ring, that was
well, to be honest, that was probably the best bit when she was pulling them out. Yeah, that was probably the best bit, to be honest. But Danny did look actually quite strong in this, so I'll give her a due. She did look good.
Strong. She looks fantastic.
But I think what this did was really highlight how weak the current Knockouts division is. Just the fact that they had to bring Jazz in the first place meant, just tells you that they're struggling a little bit just to put 10 women in a battle royale. So but Jade was also really good. Somerset Slammer's just mentioning there that how badass Jade was on commentary. I totally agree. I thought she was brilliant. I thought the way all of that worked was really, really good. I also saw that mirror as well. Jody Threat trained Trish Stratus for the Royal Rumble. They're Canadian friends. They've been friends for many years, so I think that was really cool. But anyway, so yeah, I felt that this was weak. Probably the worst knockouts match I've seen in a long time, regardless of what it was for. But it was what it was. We ended up with Savannah Evans winning. She's now going to face Masha this Thursday. But once all that was all done, we then hear from Eric Young on why he decided to take on the job as leader of the Northern Armory. Steve Mack, obviously, he's saying that the lads are super talented and blah blah blah. They need better guidance and all this kind of stuff. Steve Macklin then confronts his friend face to face in the ring. Basically says, "You know what? If this is what you're going to do, then I'm out until you're done." So. Yeah, that was an interesting moment. And I like I said, I was surprised. I was hoping, and although Eric is going to be good, I was really hoping that it was going to be Steve Macklin that turned. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see where this goes, because it just means that Eric and Steve Macklin didn't last very long at all, and we thought there was a lot of potential there as a tag team, didn't we?
Yeah, but still, it just shows that Eric Young is so unpredictable. And this is one of the best curveballs thrown by him from a long time.
Oh, totally agree.
I'm just enjoying it for that alone, and Macklin's also now a bit more open to singles competition again too. So he'll be focusing now on the world title again, rather after he's dealt with Eric Young and everything. So that's avenues open up for him. So we'll see him, Mustafa Ali, and Santana go after Joe Hendry now.
Yeah, definitely. I think it just opens up doors for other avenues, other roads for people to take, I guess. But yeah, it was interesting stuff. Anyway, Josh Alexander is out next. He reveals that his final match in TNA will take place next week against Eric Young. Interesting. I didn't think Eric would have been his choice. I thought we might have seen Moose.
Yeah, it seems right in a way. Eric Young has been the one endorsing Josh Alexander for most of the last couple of years when Josh has been twisting between can I do this, can I not do this, and all that. So it was and Eric Young is like the voice of TNA. Josh was the standard of TNA. So I think it's going to be a damn good match. But oh my god, it's going to be hard to watch. Oh.
I think so. It's going to be a tough one, but it'll probably be really, really good. Right, where are we to? Sorry, Somerset. Yeah, sorry. No, I didn't think it was bad. I thought her character, she was playing a character. Yeah. Right. So the character that she plays is that kind of, very straight-laced, confident in her own ability, but not like all over the place. Yeah. Right, Sami Callihan is on the hunt for Mance Warner when he runs into Frankie Kazarian. That didn't turn out too well. And then what we then had was the Hardys with Leon Slater defeating obviously the system. But again, this was great because I think it really highlighted Leon Slater in a real. I mean, that move that he does where he flies over the turnbuckle.
That's just insane.
I just love it. I absolutely love that spot. He does it now pretty much every match. I'm sure he's going to have to come up with a couple of different versions of that. And I also love the Swanton 450.
Yes, that is so good.
That is awesome. But interesting there. Just one thing I was going to say as well. Right now, Josh Alexander said in an interview, right, that he's not signed anywhere. He's a full free agent. Doesn't plan on signing anywhere yet. He wants to get out there and do a Matt Cardona basically. But here's the thing: Matt Cardona does want to be signed. He just doesn't want to be signed to anyone but WWE. If WWE came along, he would sign instantly with the right money. He would do it straight away, but they haven't. So that's why he's not signed anywhere, and that's why he doesn't want to sign anywhere. Because if he does sign anywhere, somewhere for 12 months, 2 years, then that opportunity to go back to WWE goes. Right now, here's the thing with Josh. Of course, he wants to be signed, and if I think at the moment the only offer on the table is from TNA. There is an offer. I bet you any money there is an offer from TNA on the table, and he's waiting to see if anybody else throws anything on the table.
Yeah.
And then I think you might see Josh Alexander back in TNA in 6 months.
Yeah, he has said if he does come back to TNA, his only intention is to go for the world title again. So,
but why even say that? Why
yeah.
even say that if there's not like an intention to come back?
Yeah.
I think this guy's got a family. He's moved to Florida, which makes him a little bit more accessible. Than obviously being up in Canada. He doesn't necessarily need work visas and all that kind of stuff. He's obviously got visas to live in the US now. So yeah, there's that situation. But you've got New Japan Pro Wrestling, you've got AAA, which is not too far away from. You could go to AAA from Florida. So you can go to Mexico. Sorry, you could head over to Japan. You could be anywhere in the US. Plus, obviously, you've got the WWE Performance Center down that way as well. So, I think he's just making himself accessible by moving to Florida. That's what I think
he's in the right spot, literally.
Yes, exactly.
He's in the right spot. You can get pretty much anywhere from Florida, I think, across the US. So, and there's a big New Japan tournament coming up too, which he's really
well, you got the G1, haven't you? You got the G1, so I'm pretty certain we'll see him announced for the G1. I think that'll be one of the things.
I really hope he does get invited to that because he's been calling for it for a while. It's like
the thing is, if he went over and competes in the G1, then the potential is that New Japan will sign him because they will see what badass he is. They will see how good he is. So I think that would be interesting. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I to turn around and say, "Oh, you don't really want to be signed," that's a load of bollocks. Why? Like, you've got a family, man. You've got a wife. You've got a family. You've got bills to pay. So, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it anyway. Sid, Leon Slater was Leon Ruff in NXT. Yeah, I believe what NXT UK. Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah, that's right. But obviously now he's Leon Slater. He is the youngest in charge, and he is a TNA contracted talent, multi-year contract, I believe, which is fantastic. So they're going to build him. I'm pretty sure at some point this year he's going to win the X title. I'm pretty sure of that. Anyway, Mustafa Ali de-escalates an argument between members of the Good Hands before consoling Tasha Steelz after she was betrayed by her former tag team partner, Alicia Edwards.
That was an accident. That wasn't on purpose.
What do you think? What do you think of this? Because obviously, he's trying to build, his what do you want to call it? His party, I guess. His political party. Would be interesting to see what Tasha Steelz. Can you imagine Tasha Steelz turning up next week in a suit and
I'm looking forward to this. I've immediately I thought this is going to be like Mustafa Ali's answer to the system. In a sense, nobody else has been able to take down the system.
I think ever since Tasha Steelz has been in TNA, she's never been anything but the Boricua badass. So it would be cool to see her in a different way, to see her presented in a different way.
It's definitely going to change Tasha Steelz' character a bit. Definitely, she'll. I'm looking forward to seeing that too, and to see how it worked with Mustafa Ali in general is going to be interesting too. And if it does anything for the Good Hands too. Because they worked with Mustafa Ali in the past, and they really shone through then. And I hope if they get back together as well.
Yeah, no, Paul likes this as well, and I like it. I think it's giving her a proper, getting her involved in a story, giving her, giving her a bit more character other than the Boricua badass. I've said in the past though, I'd like to see the return of her and.
Kira
Hogan. I think them as a tag team were incredible. I think they were fantastic.
Especially over the pandemic. They made the lack of crowd almost non-existent.
Well, they literally commentated their own matches as they were doing them. I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. But anyway, it's going to be good to see what they do with Tasha Steelz from here, because I think the whole Barriqua Badass thing is done. I just there's nowhere to go with it. There's nothing more she can do really. But I'd be interested to see how her character develops and changes, and over the next couple of months or however long this is gonna be. But I like the way Mustafa just sort of kind of like helped her up and put his arm around her and carried her. I thought it was brilliant. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, I was expecting her to at least give him a bit of backlash, but no, this was like
she was down, mate. She was out. She was down and out. She was, she needed Mustafa's firm hand and gentle touch to help her on her way. So it'd be interesting to see where that goes. Look at that. Melonhead is saying he wants campaign Sing back. You never know, but it's not for me. I'm not really a Sing fan, but. Anyway, Mike Santana defeats Matt Cardona. Ooh, what a shock!
Great match.
It was a good match.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's brilliant. The thing. One thing you can say is that it doesn't matter how many times he loses. You're going to get a great match out of him, aren't you?
Yeah, it's amazing. He's just absolutely. Matt Cardona is on another level. It's incredible.
Yeah, no, definitely. I totally agree. Yes, Roy. No, I understand that she is signed to AEW. I understand that, and but she just never gets used. So again, another progressive talent. It was working every single set of tapings for TNA, or Impact at the time, and is now gone over to AEW, getting paid to sit at home doing fuck all. But there you go. What a shame. Absolute waste of talent, in my opinion. People don't understand. They go, oh yeah, she's getting a big wedge. She's not having to do anything. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is she's not getting exposure. That's the big deal. She's not on TV. Nobody knows who the fuck she is. She's not building anything. She's not building a fan base. She's not doing anything. She's just sat at home or, in catering, and not building anything. Yes, she's getting a wage, but once that's done, once that contract's up, her stock is not going to be worth anything because she's not on TV.
And it frustrates the talent a lot too.
It's frustrating as hell.
Yeah, it's like you look at guys like Ryan, and they left WWE. They were getting paid good money there. They left because they weren't getting used.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this bonkers. Just put the title on Santana. I'm sure that's where they're heading. I think that's a bang for glory match. But there you go. So NXT and TNA liaison Ariana Grace joins commentary for the main event. The NXT Tag Title match between Fraxiom and, of course, the Nemeth brothers. Now, I like Ariana Grace. I think she's great. I think she is. She's not quite as flamboyant, shall we say, as her dad, but I think she's all right, man. I quite like her. I quite like her. I think she's got that softly spoken voice, and it adds a completely different aspect to the commentary when she was on there, so it's different, but anyway.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I'm just reading Slammer's comment there. So he said it was her choice to sign. She got a brain. She must have known that this was most likely outcome. No sympathy from me. No, I don't believe that's the case.
Tony Khan, he said that AEW was going to be the alternative to WWE. It was going to be something similar to TNA, and it's just basically WCW 2.0.
Yeah. I mean, she's gone over there because she's wanting to, go to a bigger company, earn bigger money, get more exposure. She's got none of that. It's a real shame.
That's one of the things that they were promised was you get a bit more freedom. You'd still be able to wrestle, which she can do, but I've not seen them advertised anywhere for ages, which is a damn shame.
Yeah,
and they had her on AEW Dark and Dark Elevation until that was scrapped, and then she went to Ring of Honor for a little while, and then she just disappeared.
Well, I saw her. She was doing some NWA stuff as well, but yeah, no, it's just an absolute waste of time. Same with Deanna. I mean, Deanna's gone over there. She had a bit of a push for about a month, and now she's been stuck in some sort of tag team thing with Ty, hasn't she? Which they're
getting a really big push at the moment.
Well, let's hope that works out for her. Now, back to Impact after an extremely close matchup. Where the Nemeth brothers almost won the NXT Tag Titles a couple of times.
Nemeth,
yes,
boy.
it was Fraxiom who ended up the victors after taking advantage of a mistake made by Ryan Nemeth. Now, after the match, a dejected Nick Nemeth looks on as Fraxiom celebrates their victory, and then, of course, TNA Impact goes off air. But yeah, no, Nick, you could see Nick is like, well, for fuck's sake, you know.
Yeah, Ryan, you fucking idiots.
Yeah,
but more disappointed, not angry.
He looked proper gutted. He looked proper
I was
gutted.
I was gutted for him. I was just screaming at the TV, "You fucking idiot, Ryan!"
Yeah, what's a twat?
And then the dogs are looking at me like, "What?"
Yeah, it's absolute shame. It really is. But obviously, you know, again, it forwards the storyline. We're seeing Nick getting more and more frustrated with his brother.
Yeah,
I
I just want to see Nick slap him across the face really, really hard. Just give him, one of those good old fashioned family fallout smacks across the face, and then
there you go. That would be good. that would be good. I'm down with that. But Joe, let's have a chat about Impact tomorrow night on Access TV. I think I forgot what it's called now. Some at Sport 360 in Canada, and of course on TNA Plus. Now, what we've got lined up in a minute is NXT Cora Jade versus Xia Brookside. Now, obviously, that should be a banger. I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, the other thing was there was an exclusive thing afterwards with Fraxiom and the Hardys as well.
Oh wow!
So I think that's going to happen. Interestingly enough, if both titles are on the line, right? Could you imagine the Hardys carrying the NXT tag titles as well? That would be interesting.
They are on the Expedition of Gold, and
they are.
They've got 2 sets of belts at the moment, including TNA titles. They've got I think it's the oh Christ, no, I've forgotten the name of the promotion they won it from, but that they've got another set of belts already. And Matt Hardy was saying the other day, what other titles should we be going for now? And people were saying NXT. So it could have been a premonition.
Yeah, you never know. So anyway, Cora Jade and Xia Brookside, that should be a decent matchup. We've got the final Josh Alexander match versus Eric Young. We think that's going to be a banger.
It's going to be heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking is going to be a banger, and I'm sure we're going to have cuddles at the end of the match. I'm sure. Mustafa Ali is going to be holding a town hall meeting. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
What goes on with that, and hopefully we're going to see Tasha all suited and booted, and
Tasha and the Good Brothers and Santana is going to come out run riot.
Yeah, it could be interesting. That
it's going to build something.
Ash and Heather by Elegance will also be in action. It doesn't state who, but I'm sure we'll have some random, tag team from the Indies or something, or a couple of random women thrown together for that. We then got Frankie Kazarian versus Sami Callihan, obviously after their little conference. Yeah, their little tiff. That's it. I wasn't sure what to call it. A confrontation, maybe. I like it. A little tiff.
A little tiff.
After they had their little tiff this past week. We've also got, now the big matches has to be Masha Slamovich versus Savannah Evans for the Knockouts title. And we've also got the main event being Joe Hendry versus Jake something for the world title match. It should be a really good show.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. What I like is that we've got a good mix on here of kind of like matches, banger that you think is going to be good, like match-wise, banger matches-wise, which is sort of kind of thrown in there with the Mustafa Ali thing, a bit of a sort of kind of Ash by Elegance will be an action type scenario, but who's that going to be, all that kind of stuff. So there's a bit of intrigue, a bit of storytelling going on, and we've got some really good matches as well to look forward to. So I think overall, tomorrow night should be a pretty solid show. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to it. The matches are good. The booking seems is bang on point as well at the moment too. They seem to have got a structure now in place where everything's just, like we've talked about, it just seems to be smoothing over so quickly and going through so fluently now. And it seems you still got to look at the card. You see like 5 or 6 matches, they would usually be like 2 or 3 minutes and then gone to. But now they're just sort of like flying by, but they've actually gone on a lot longer. The promos are a lot more to the point as well. They don't seem to drag on too much as well in the ring promos and stuff. So it's all really good.
Yeah, definitely.
WWE,
And
answering. Yeah, people have been asking about WWE releases that we've seen. As quite a, I was surprised that guys like the Good Brothers and that were released, and I'm not interested in seeing them again. But
a bit
I
too much of a money drain and not a lot return, I don't think. There.
yeah, I don't know her name, but she was on an NXT UK. She's a Scottish wrestler.
Oh,
I want to see her. I would like to see her. But there's quite a few women that were released that I think would be great on the Knockouts division.
yeah, I think there's 2 or 3. My problem is, right, okay, here's my problem, that we could easily sign 3 or 4 of those. Easy.
Definitely.
But my problem is then that means that we wouldn't necessarily sign Hyan or someone like Vicious Vicky or Jada Stone, because we would have thrown all the money at those 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I quite like to see 2. I would definitely quite like to see 2 of those guys signed. Just remember, guys, we're not too far away now from getting Kylan King back. Steph DeLander is not too far off going back in the ring as well. We've got a few months there. I think Kylan King has stated she's not quite ready to go back in the ring yet, but I'm pretty sure she'll be back in the ring by Slammiversary, which would be really good to see that. So we've got some knockouts coming back, but for me, I'd like to see someone like Hyan signed. I'd like to see like the Vicious Vicky signed. I'd like to see Jada Stone signed. Maggie Moore would be great, but there are a couple of others out there, like you say, these WWE ladies that have just been released. It would also be really nice. Sonya Deville would be nice, definitely. And there's, like you say, there's the other one as well.
I just forgot.
Sonya Deville is the English one, I believe. I think that's the one, or the Isla Dawn. That's it.
That's who I was thinking of. Yes,
Isla Dawn. So there is a couple there that I think would be really, really good. When it comes to the guys, I know a lot of people. I'd quite like to see Cedric. Is it Cedric Alexander or something like that? I think he looks pretty badass. And I'd actually quite like, and I know a lot of people like now. What was the tag team that just got released?
The Good Brothers.
Not the Good Brothers. The other one, which had Ellering as their manager.
Oh,
is it OAP or something like that?
I think it was mentioned earlier on the chat. I can't remember.
I wouldn't mind seeing them getting a run. Now, whether they got signed, I don't know about that, but I wouldn't mind seeing them get an opportunity to show what they can do.
Yeah,
I really would. The Tonga girls would be good as well, bonkers. As a tag team, definitely, because we do need tag teams as well. Because at the moment, we've pretty much got 2. What we got, Ash. Well, we've got we got
Spitfire
Ash
and Heather
Spitfire. That's pretty much it. OAP, that's it. So I quite like to see, even if it wasn't, like a long-term thing, I think that it'd be quite nice to see them get an opportunity. Like, do you remember when they brought in Bronson Reed?
Yes.
For 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Bring in OAP, give them 6 months and see what they can do. Like, throw the ball firmly in their court and say, right, let's go. Let's see what you guys can do, right? Because I actually think, I've seen them wrestle. They're fucking badass. They are good, right? And with Ellering as their manager, that adds another element to it. We have not really got that kind of we haven't got many of the manager figures, have we? Within, no. So it'd be quite interesting to bring all 3 of them in and do a program for 6 months. Here's your ball, run with it, show us what you can do, and if you fuck it up, then we won't. Then that's it. We'll part ways, and that's the end of it. But if in that 6 months they put on a badass show, and there's a possibility to sign them because they do a really, really good job, I don't know. It's got to be worth a shot, because
definitely,
I can't see him going anywhere else, and that's the thing. I can't see him going anywhere else. But we'll see. Baron Corbin,
he's signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
That's what I'd heard. I heard he'd signed with New Japan.
Yeah.
But he'd be interesting. I'm the one I'm a little bit gutted about is it Elijah, who used to be Eli?
Yeah, he's gone to AEW.
Well, apparently he's not signed. Now, apparently it was announced that he was signed with Ring of Honor AEW, right? It was banged out there that he was. And then all of a sudden, somebody said earlier today, I saw some of the news outlets said, actually, he's not been signed. Yeah. It was an appearance.
One-off appearance, yeah. Like
and somebody was, banging around that he'd actually been signed, but he hasn't. Now, I actually think that he could be interesting. He could be. I think, Elijah. I think someone. Yeah, we need to take a look at him. I think I'd be interested to see what you could do with him. Corbin. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've heard he's actually a pretty good wrestler. He's been held back. He was held back a lot.
He's held back a hell of a lot. After he left NXT, he was held back really badly. It was ridiculous.
I think so. I'd be interested. I mean, I'm not sure whether he's worth a sign or would be worth again another 6-month kind of deal to see how he gets on. But I don't know. I'm not overly bothered about seeing Brian Corbin. Not going to lie. But guys, listen. I think that's all we've got time for this week.
We kept you waiting long enough.
Yeah, we did keep you waiting long enough. We sort of kind of running over time, really, and I really apologise for that. It was just totally out of my control. My computer decided, you know what? I'm going to turn off and I'm going to update. So, yeah, it was. We had to wait like 20, 25 minutes or so to get going again. But anyway, guys, if you're interested in supporting the channel, please feel free to super sticker us or head over to Pro Wrestling Tees /tunnels.impact for some great shirts. Head over to our exclusive Spreadshirt merch stores as well. Of course, all the links are below as normal. All TNI shows are available for all you listen on the go fans as audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you list your favourite shows. They will be there. Where can we find you on the socials, Joe?
You can follow me on Twitter at JokerEmptySpace. You can jump onto YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, look for #EmptySpace, #IntoTheVoid, or if you fancy to tickle your taste buds and your sense of humour, #DailyGiggle, but approach with an open mind and just might keep your sanity.
Sanity. That's it. Love it. Okay. Follow TNI on the socials at We Talk Impact, available on Instanet, on the Facebook, and of course on the X Sphere. I was in the Twitter sphere, but it's now the X Sphere.
It was called the Twitter sphere.
I know.
Fuck Elon Musk.
The X Sphere. Anyway, if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about myself, the Bison, if it's the first time that you've got it, then please feel free to add me on X at LordBison45. I pretty much do all my wrestling stuff on there. I tend to stay off the other stuff with the wrestling, but I definitely get stuck into it on there. Also, if you want to follow me on TikTok at Bison by Design, I do a lot of my training on there, and I call it's like a bit like an inspirational profile, I guess. So go and check that out. Please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. Maybe 2, if you've got 2 channels, I don't know. And if you're new to us and you like what you see, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to give the bell a tickle, a squeeze, or of course the smash to never miss any of the fantastic content TNA based coming out each and every week from the UK and of course the US teams. With all that said, I've been Bison. He has been, of course, the Joker. And this has been episode 217 of Impacted. Take care, everyone.